a celebration. Everyone's welcome in this community. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate peace and harmony. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate our unity. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate peace and harmony. Celebrate with joy. Celebrate the love we share. Celebrate our unity. Celebrate our unity. Celebrate our unity.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Comox Valley, a positive path for spiritual living. Thank you for joining me today. Our path looks quite different these days, doesn't it? A lot of unknown twists and turns, a lot of ups and downs, things unexpected happening that we couldn't predict. And some things never change. And one of those is prayer. So please join me as we start in prayer. This is a powerful way that we stay connected spiritually, individually, and as a spiritual community. So we are still in our 40-day program. And so what I'd like to do is you can refer to your sheet if you have it with you. If not, you can affirm each statement after me. And thank you to everyone who is already affirming this prayer every single day. So let's begin. Please affirm with me. I am one with infinite source. I am created in the image of wholeness, the blueprint of perfection. I lovingly release everything that stands in the way of my being restored to my natural state of wholeness. Divine life floods my consciousness with divine energy, healing my body, harmonizing my emotions, and renewing my mind. I am aligned with a positive flow of the universe. Every breath fills me with gratitude and reminds me of my spiritual perfection. Unity Comox Valley is a vibrant, healthy, prosperous spiritual community, transforming lives and centered in God, creating a world that works for all. Today, I'd like to talk about choice. You have heard me say many, many times that we do not need to be the victims of any person or any circumstance. And this includes this big circumstance that we are in right now. I'm not sure if ever before there has been something that's happened that impacts every single person, all life on this planet, one way or another. We are charting new waters. We can certainly see and understand more than ever the interconnectedness of all life on this planet. The world really is a small place. And something that happens in another part of the world sends out a ripple that affects us all. We are living in a time when we cannot predict the future or even anticipate what the next day will bring. And you know what? That's how it's always been. We are just so much more aware of it these days. So how do we choose to live with that knowledge? It's okay to become anxious or disheartened. It's okay to feel human from time to time. It's natural to feel these feelings in these times when things are uncertain and things are changing. And what better time to sink our roots deep into our spiritual principles and be strong. When we do this, when we sink our roots deep, we are centered, we are strong, we are faith-filled. Yes, we can get blown around from time to time, but essentially, we are strong at the core. I hope you have been able to stay with the Lenten readings that we are having this time of year from the booklet that we gave out a few weeks ago. Because what we are living through right now is perfectly matched to the season of letting go. So I'd just like to read Friday's lesson, March 27th. I fast from chaos. The mere mention of chaos can strike fear into people's hearts. Most people think that life is lived from the outside in, that outer conditions cause our inner experiences. There very well may be chaotic conditions around us, but the outer does not cause our inner chaos. Our chaotic thinking and feeling cause our inner experience of chaos. I fast from chaos. And of course, this went to the publisher long before Christmas, and yet so perfect for today, isn't it? The affirmation is this from the booklet: I fast from chaos. I give no power or importance to any chaos in my life. Would you affirm this with me? I fast from chaos. I give no power or importance to any chaos in my life. After every release statement comes another statement that fills in that place that we just emptied out. And the following day's reading is, I fast on order. I feast. I feast on order. I feast on order. So we're talking about divine order here, the order that is at work everywhere in the universe, even when we can't see it or understand it. Order means something comes first, and then something follows. There's a starting point, and then there's a sequence of what comes next. Like a recipe. So since I now have the opportunity and the time at home, I've begun experimenting with all kinds of recipes. And there are thousands of them on the internet. My goodness, you can make anything that you could possibly even dream of. It's there. So every recipe starts first with a list of ingredients and then tells you the order of how to put them together. So let's start with our ingredients. What would our ingredients be for creating a peaceful and sane life right now? What do we want to have on hand before we begin? Well, what comes to my mind, of course, is our spiritual principles. First one, there's one power everywhere present, and it is all good. That's the first ingredient. Second, since we are creations of this good, our essence is also good. Third, the thoughts, feelings, and words that we choose to use and say and think form our experience. 4, we use affirmative prayer and meditation. And 5, we take what we know and put it into action. So those are our ingredients. And what would be the order, the divine order? Let me go to yesterday's reading. So on Friday we had, I fast from chaos. And on Saturday, I feast on order. Divine ideas and divine mind are always in perfect order. Because of our innate divinity, we can and do make and remake ourselves all the time. Divine order is how we create in an orderly way, first in mind, then in the outer realm, from inside to outside. We can use divine order in the seeming chaos. I feast on order. So what is the proper order that we use to put together these ingredients? Well, God first, divine mind first, source energy first. This is where we must always begin. Not putting our attention on trying to fix something out there or trying to make somebody do something that we want. We all have our ways of trying to make things right by starting out there. But what we need to be doing is starting in here. A great way to start with spirit, with God, with source energy is by being in the silence, by realigning ourselves with all good. And everyone does this differently. Find a way that works for you. Maybe sitting in front of the window and looking out at the trees and the sky, or going to your favorite chair and lighting a candle. Make time for this. It is our power place. It is where we begin. The next step in this recipe for creating a peaceful life is reaffirming our essential goodness, our spiritual perfection that embodies all the attributes and all the qualities of the divine. Again, find a way that works for you. How do you remember your innate goodness, your spiritual nature? We have this beautiful song that we're going to hear before the meditation. You will recognize it. God is life, and I am life. God is beauty, and I am beauty. God is love, and I am love. You know that one. Or even the simple statement, God is, I am. That really says it all. God is, I am. And then we rest in this place and we can feel our spiritual well filling up. And we start to feel the peace and the calm. And then when we come out of the silence, we will probably think and feel differently than when we entered. Our words will be altered. Our thoughts will be a reflection of spirit. Our actions will be wiser. When we listen to the news, we will be centered and remember that God is everywhere present, even in this. I hope you are reading about or listening to all the good things that people are doing for each other right now. We hear about the heroic efforts of our healthcare providers, not only ours, but all of them all around the world. And we see spirit working through them, protecting them. We appreciate the people in our grocery stores. Next time you're in there, make sure you say thank you for being here. We start with our spiritual ingredients, and then we use them in divine order. Then we are able to stand strong and see the world through the eyes of love. We're now going to have a time of prayer and silence. I will give you some affirmations. We will listen to a short song. I will ring the bell. And then I will share another set of affirmations. We'll listen to a short song, and I'll ring the bell. And we'll do that 4 times. And then we will end with the song, God is Life. So before we listen to that song. I invite you to find a comfortable place. Perhaps take a couple of deep breaths. Make a space for peace to enter. And know that everything God is, we are. So we'll listen now to our pre-meditation song, In the Silence.
In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home. In the silence I can feel the love. In the silence I can rise above. In the silence I can hear the voice. In the silence I am home.
In the silence. In the silence, we can feel the love. In the silence, we can rise above. In the silence, we can hear the voice. In the silence, we claim our wholeness. So let's enter into this time of prayer and reflection where we can rest in the divine presence. Turning within, I become aware of my breath. I relax into a peaceful awareness of God. Deepening my breath, I feel peace unfolding me. I let go of any tension, any thought of past or future. I am the breath of spirit, the expression of perfect life. Spirit breathes in and through me. In this time of quiet communion, I know divine life is the truth of my being, and I feel my oneness with all life. Let's hold this thought in the silence. I feel my oneness with all life. Spring has arrived. We are experiencing this beautiful and inspiring time of year right now. When we are still, we can hear nature awakening, responding to the divine cycle of life. The source that awakens the earth also lives within our hearts, prompting thoughts of renewal. We know that it is also our nature to grow and flourish. I affirm health and wholeness, knowing that my mind, body, and emotions reverberate with renewing energy that restores my body and fills me with enthusiasm. I bless each part of my body, knowing every cell of my being expresses the wholeness of God. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I breathe a prayer of gratitude for my body. I am health and wholeness. Let's enter the silence and hold this thought. I am health and wholeness. Divine abundance surrounds me at all times. I am open to my good, aware that my blessings simply await my claim. Abundance takes many forms: relationships, connections with people and nature, peace of mind, a sense of wholeness, spiritual strength. All that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive comes from God, the source of all good. I am one with unlimited good. Let's enter the silence and hold this thought. I am one with unlimited good. My thoughts and actions contribute to a peaceful world. My thoughts have power to heal and bless. I send them out now, carrying love, peace, joy, and goodwill to people and places throughout the world. I hold a vision of wellness for family, friends, neighbors, and people near and far. Thought by thought and prayer by prayer, I help transform the world. As we take our next breath, we see the world bathed in golden light in our mind's eye. The power of love heals and restores all life on this planet as it lifts each being to wholeness and health. I bless this divine web of life. Let's enter the silence and hold this thought. I bless this divine web of life.
God is life and I am life. God is life and I am life. God is light and I am light. God is light and I am light. God is joy and I am joy. God is joy and I am joy. God is love and I am love. God is love and I am love. God is peace and I am peace. God is peace and I am peace. God is beauty and I am beauty. God is beauty and I am beauty. God is power and I am power. God is power and I am power. God is good, yes, God is good. God is good, yes, God is all these things. God is all these things. I am all these things. God is all these things. I am all these things. God is all these things. I am all these things. God is all these things. I am. God is good.
Even though we are not blessing a love offering in person today, I would still like to take a moment and center ourselves in the knowing that we are abundantly supplied. Last week, I asked you to think of one new thing that you are grateful for. And this week, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing, because a lot has happened in the last 7 days. So please take a moment and bring to mind something good that you have experienced since last Sunday. So think about where you were, who you were with, what you were listening to, what you saw. Hold it in your heart. Feel the warmth and the energy of it. Then allow that energy to ripple out from you in beautiful waves into your neighborhood, into our valley, and out into the world. Please join me in our blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. One more time. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. I hope you are noticing the incredible, amazing things that are emerging because of this time of physical isolation. People are getting the sleep they need. People are waving to each other from a safe distance. There's lots of photos showing how the earth is restoring herself since we have been cutting back on the demands that we place on her. And lots of cartoons so that we can keep our sense of humor intact. Your board and I are dedicated to bringing you the unity message and to cultivate continue to cultivate ways that we can connect with each other and support each other as a spiritual community. Remember, there are 3 touch points every week. Every Sunday, a service like this. You can listen to it anytime after Sunday morning. You can listen to it more than once if you like. And the previous weeks are always on the website. On every Wednesday, you can go to our website and listen to a pre-recorded meditation that I created. And again, that will change every week, but the previous ones will still be on the website. Every Friday, our newsletter, of course, full of inspiration, full of information. There's a great clip that I put on last week of a song that a group in Unity Comox Valley here put together. It's very uplifting. So I hope that everyone is opening up their newsletter on Fridays. Send us an email. We are here to serve you and to support you. Your comments and feedback are very important to us. And thank you to everyone who did email last week and give me some tips or some ideas about how to make these recordings even better. Of course, this is a new step for me personally and for us as a community. So please keep your feedback coming. We really appreciate it a lot. The Christ in me acknowledges the Christ in you.
The Christ in me sees the Christ in you. Everyone's a chosen one, the many and the few. All together now it takes two. The Christ in me and the Christ in you. To know love is to be loved, and I know love will stay alive. If the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, everyone's a chosen one, the many and the few. All together now it takes two. The Christ in me and the Christ in you. If my friend feels sad or broken, every time that my heart opens, love makes its way into the world. When the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, everyone's a chosen one, the many and the few. All together now it takes two. The Christ in me and the Christ in you. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all